Now joining us is Scot Landry from the Boston's Men's Conference. He's a guy who really put the whole thing together. Scott, always a pleasure to have you with us.
Great to be with you, Jay, and you, Father Reed, again.
Thanks. Yeah, well, tell us about the upcoming Men's Conference.
So it's our 6th Men's Conference this year. The theme of the conference is Crossing the Goal Together in Christ. And for the first time, we're actually having the Men's Conference in a church, so it adds to the spiritual dimension. Like the Women's Conference that was just held a couple weeks ago, our conference is at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. So we wanted to bring all the men into the cathedral to see it filled, to see nearly 2,000 men singing during Mass. And because it's at the cathedral, due to the graciousness of Father Kevin O'Leary, the rector, and Cardinal Sean, we were able to cut ticket prices in this economically challenging time so that more men could come. And we are very excited by the speakers lineup that we have. National Men's Ministry Crossing the Goal, which has TV programs on EWTN, but they also go and speak at 4 or 5 men's conferences as a specific program. They're going to be the speakers program this year. And the conferences that have brought in that Crossing the Goal team have remarked to us that it was one of the best things they ever did for their diocese, for the men there. Catholic men of this generation aren't like our fathers joining the Knights of Columbus or the Holy Name Society. They're really looking for supplemental things to grow in their faith, and the men's conference has really filled the void. So we're thrilled, and we're very hopeful for a sellout for the men's conference as we saw for the women's conference.
You know, for those who watched the women's conference on Catholic TV, you know, the energy, the enthusiasm was incredible, but it's incredibly important for people to realize that if the guys can be there, that's the best way to experience this. And can you tell us how people can get tickets?
So it's very easy to get tickets off of our website, which is www.catholicboston.com, or they can call us if they don't have internet access. The phone number is 617-444-9950, or they can email us at info@catholicboston.com. We have about 1,700 tickets for sale. About 1,000 have already been sold, so there's about 700 remaining. So if you want to come to the conference, we encourage you to act soon and buy your tickets, as we want to accommodate everybody who chooses to come.
Yeah, you don't want to be left out either, because sometimes, like me, I always wait till the last second to do things. You can't do it for something like this, because next thing you know, people will be calling up saying, sorry, it's already sold out.
That's right. And to your point earlier, Father Reed, it's much different for Catholic guys to be surrounded by 2,000 other Catholic guys and praying and coming together. One of the biggest aspects of the conference that we promote, beyond the speakers, we have adoration, we have confession, which you and Jay were talking about earlier. But we also have the chance to just hang out with a lot of guys. And the folks that seem to enjoy the conference the most are those that come with 3 or 4 additional people from their parish, or in some cases a busload of parishioners. And they're meeting guys that they've seen in church, but they've never really hung out with. Yeah, and sure. That's the thing that they take away from the conference experience the most sometimes. I never knew that this great guy who was sitting 2 pews ahead of me every Sunday for the last 2 years was such a great guy who shared a lot of the same challenges that I do, and I really got to know him on the way down and on the way back. So we really encourage not only men to come, but to come together with fathers and sons, or with siblings, or certainly with parishioners from their from their parish or neighboring parish.
And people aren't alone in their faith too. I think that's another thing, Scott, is sometimes you sit in those pews, and as you say, you come to church and you're sitting there, and you be with I go with my wife and my kids, but yet you're thinking, okay, this is just me. But then you go to a conference like this and you see, well, this is the fabric of their life, is this faith. So they're not alone. Do you see that a lot?
We hear that a lot from, after a man comes to the conference and we do our post-conference survey. That's one of the things that they talk about the most. Mm-hmm. It was great to not only discuss my faith with other guys, but to discuss the struggles that I'm going through. And, oh, by the way, I'm not alone in those struggles. Yeah. The guy sitting right next to me who was in that carpool with me shared that before I had to reveal that I was struggling with those things, he revealed that he was struggling with those things. And it strengthens us. We're not on a faith journey alone. We do it together. One of our speakers at our first men's conference said, Christianity is a team sport. And that's one of the things that resonated with men. We don't have to do this alone. Get some teammates who can help us through the ups and downs of our journey of faith.
Speaking about crossing the goal, I want to congratulate you here in the Archdiocese as Secretary for Institutional Advancement. You crossed the goal of the Catholic Appeal last year, and now the Catholic Appeal has begun in earnest again this past weekend.
So we launched it this past weekend, and I deserve absolutely none of the credit, Father Reed. The 50,000 parishioners who contributed to the Catholic Appeal, they deserve most of the credit. Our pastors and parish staff who take the appeal message and make it known in the parishes really have the most to do with the success of the appeal. Cardinal Sean was thrilled. Everybody that works in the Archdiocese was certainly overjoyed that we were able to exceed our goal in one of the toughest economic years that we've certainly had in my lifetime.
I have to tell you, Scott, I was amazed that you made your goal. I was seeing it and exceeded the goal, because it is a very tough economy now, and people are looking at their funds and saying, oh, there's certain things they can spend on and there's certain things they can't. And yet they made the commitment to the Archdiocese of Boston and to other places that are doing these appeals. But I know Archdiocese has been so successful to say, I am going to give money towards it. So congratulations to your team and to everyone out there, the pastors, the parishioners, everyone. Well, great job.
Well, what you guys certainly know is our Catholic community is extraordinarily generous. In an economically depressed time like we've been facing, Catholics step up. They go beyond what they've done in the past. And they know that if they don't help make up for those that have lost their jobs in supporting the mission of the church, then who's going to do it? So they step up and do it. And about 20% of those who contributed to the Catholic Appeal last year increased their gift from what they had done in 2008. So that was a great sign.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for being with us. And we are going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to find out what that Catholic treasure is. Stay with us.